Hey, I'm Piascik. I've been a professional independent illustrator for the last 15 years. I've worked with clients like Cartoon Network, Google, Nickelodeon, McDonald's, Adidas, and countless others. The best thing that I ever did for my illustration career. The best thing? It's the only reason you have an illustration career. Fair point. Anyway, that thing was starting a daily drawing project. And you may be thinking, hey, I've heard this before, but just hang on, just wait 1 second. 1 second. Let me explain all the reasons why this is an absolute game changer. Oh, you should put that in the title. Can we just try to make a video here? I've done videos before that can plot out exactly how my daily drawing journey has built out my illustration career, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. If you want to check that out, I will link it at the end. After I tell you all the reasons you might want to do a daily drawing series, I'll provide you with a ton of different ideas and prompts that will help you carry it out for as long as you want to. Maybe some of you made a New Year's resolution to draw more and you're already running out of ideas. I know how that goes. If that's you. Stay tuned. I got you. A simple daily drawing project is hugely beneficial for creative growth, personal growth, career development, and I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of reasons why. I even have a list here. You ready? Let's get into it. Number one, they keep your work evolving and naturally. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean. Let me tell you a story about an illustrator whose career has washed up. This illustrator made some work early on in their career, and it got really popular. Started taking off. People loved that piece that they did. And brands and companies and bands and magazines and publishers were like, hey, we love this thing you did. Can you make that for us? And this person kept doing it. And kept doing it and kept recreating that original thing that they did and making iterations of it for all these other things for a while. They probably made a good amount of money doing it. And then, you know what happened? People didn't want to see it anymore. They got sick of it. And that person was not doing any personal work. They were just doing their commissions based on that original thing. So their work got stagnant. Nobody wanted to hire them anymore. And then their career washed up. This is a made-up person, but there are countless examples if you wanted to look and find them. And I don't want that to happen to you. So let me tell you why a daily drawing project can stop this from even happening. You don't want to ruin your career before you even start. So as I'm sure you know, as a freelance illustrator, you put your work out there on a portfolio, on social media, on different websites. You send out examples or something. People see that work, and if they like it, or they have a specific application for it, they may hire you to make something based on that work. When you do a daily drawing project, you can constantly have that creative freedom to explore and try new things and evolve your work, and it'll just naturally grow. You don't have to be constantly trying to change style or work in a different way. That's not what I'm saying. But just the act of making new things on your own is going to organically, naturally make your work change and grow. I never set out to change the way my work looked, but if I look at some of my early daily drawings, even though this sort of broad sense of style is there, they feel very, very different to me. And you start to change the way you draw a little bit. You also get much better. You get better control, you get faster, you just level up over time. And this way, you have a lot more control about the direction of your career because you're making the work that you want to do and eventually getting work based on your new work and you're just growing. All right, let's move on. Daily drawings provide reference for other work. You've been doing a daily drawing project for a long time. You'll have all these things that you've drawn before, and maybe you get a project where it's like a quick turnaround or something like that, and you have to do something, and you're like, wait, I've already drawn something very similar to this. Maybe I can just tweak that or pull that in here. Or, you just have this catalog of things that you could use. Could be a starting point for something new. You could also use them to combine into something else. They're your daily drawings. They're your personal work. You can do whatever you want with them. It's your own personal library to steal from. Ever think about that? As a freelancer, one of the best things that you can do is try to diversify your income and just have lots of different streams of money coming in so you're not just waiting for that next project. And that could mean making your own stuff and selling some products in a shop. Daily drawings are a perfect source of material for that. Maybe you pick the ones that you like the best or the ones that resonated the most with people on social media, turn them into some prints or some shirts. There's lots of on-demand options right now that take the initial cost out of it, and they've gotten pretty good. So you can benefit your career and benefit your wallet. Oh, stickers too. You can make stickers. Stickers are fun. Stickers are cheap. People love stickers. I love stickers. A daily drawing project aids creativity by fostering idea generation and breaking creative blocks over time. This is a big one. And it's something that I found out for sure on my own. When you first start doing a daily drawing project, at least for me, very early on, I was like, I don't have any ideas. There's nothing to draw. And the longer you do it, you're like exercising this idea part of your brain, and it just wants to keep doing more. It's like, yeah, let's keep coming up with these crazy ideas. And then when you've done it for a really long time, your brain is just working hard on ideas. For me, this got a little weird. I like to draw silly puns, and my brain is still wired for that from the daily drawing project. And it is just sending me dumb ideas at the worst possible moments. It's just pulling them up, just nonstop. I'm like, let's just calm down. But anyway, I stopped doing my daily drawing project after about 14 years, about 6 months into having my son, because I don't know if you've ever had a baby, but that is crazy. I could not sleep. And after I stopped for a while, I realized coming up with ideas for things to draw or for client projects was a lot harder because I was not exercising that part of my brain anymore, and I was probably a little bit overtired. But creativity begets creativity. Another benefit is that it makes promotion so much easier. For me, it was really hard to stay on top of doing all this sort of like promotion and outreach, and I never really did that kind of thing. All I did was just post new work every single day online, which, when I say it out loud, sounds harder than just, sending out some promos every few times a year. But I didn't have to think about it. It was just like, I do my drawing, I share it online, and I just continue to do this every day. And it was sort of like a numbers game that if I'm doing it this much, someone is gonna see it. And that's what happened. It's also great for the algorithm. These social media platforms want you to post regularly. So if you're doing a daily drawing project, you're posting every single day. And then the algorithm's like, hell yeah, this guy's posting every day. Let's spread this out. Let's share it around. Let's get some eyeballs on it. It's also really helpful as a professional illustrator. You're often working on projects that maybe won't be released for a long time, or you've signed some sort of NDA and you can't share that work. So if you got a lot of projects like that, and you're not doing personal work, you've got nothing to share to let the world know that you're still making stuff. You're still an illustrator. The hardest part about doing daily drawings is not the actual drawing itself. It's coming up with the ideas. Something that helped me immensely was keeping a running list of ideas. And I do that using the app Notion, which is a sponsor of this video. Thanks, Notion. My brain likes to give me the best ideas when I'm not in a position to do anything with those ideas. Usually not anywhere near my desk. And I used to think, oh, I'll just remember this later. But it never happens. It's almost as if my brain is saying, fine, you don't want this idea now? I'm throwing it in the trash. I don't know why my brain sounds like that. Now when an idea pops in my head, I just open up the Notion app and pop my idea in there so I can revisit it later when I'm back at my desk. So then when I'm back at my desk, I can just come over to my digital workspace that keeps track of everything. And here I'll find all the ideas that I've submitted on here. I can choose to sort this by certain kinds of ideas, like maybe I need to start filming a new video. I'll just sort this by YouTube videos. So I can click on YouTube at the top, and then here are all of the ideas I have for current videos, and I can adjust the status to whether I'm editing it or not started yet, which is a lot of these because sometimes I have ideas for videos that are maybe a little bit more complicated or end up not wanting to do. I also use this for my web shop as well. So I have all of my shop items here with all the information about whether they're in stock or not in stock, so I can keep track of inventory. This is especially helpful when I'm planning out videos and like trying to schedule them and stay ahead of things. So I have a content schedule here. When I have a video idea and I start making it, or I know when I need to make it by, I can just kind of choose the date when I want it to go live. And then when I view it as this content creation thing, I can see them on the calendar, and that's really helpful for me. One of the great things about how I have this set up is that when I'm on my phone and I use the app, it's easy enough to just tap on the idea thing, create new, and then tag it as a certain kind of thing. So if I tag it as a video, it's already gonna have all of this information, when it's scheduled for, if there's a sponsor on that video, if it needs to be submitted for review, if I'm editing it, or if it's already uploaded. I also use it to keep track of my client work, or I can use a status knowing whether it's like something I need to be working on right now, or if I'm like waiting on feedback from them, if there's like a specific due date. Having all of this stuff organized in an easy way that I can update and not have to kind of struggle managing is so helpful for me as someone with ADHD, because I think I can keep all this stuff in my head, but I absolutely can't. Being able to just look at this database and view it as certain ways and like focus on just one area at a time, boy, makes things easier. If you're having a hard time managing a lot of different things, I would give Notion a shot because it makes things so much easier for me. So thank you for sponsoring this, Notion, and back to the drawing prompt tips. All right, let's talk about some ideas that allowed me to make 14 years worth of daily drawings. There's a lot of daily drawings. Look, I have 3 books worth. After I did 1,000 days, I made a book with the first 1,000 drawings. There's drawings in there. And then I did another 1,000 days, and there's thousands of daily drawings in there. And then after 10 years, I did a book of my favorites over the 10 years. And I redrew some of my favorite ones. There's so many daily drawings. Listen, the 2 collections are sold out, but there's digital versions online. Don't get the first one. The first 1,000 days are trash. The 10 years book is pretty good. That's my favorite one because it's my favorite drawings over 10 years. Anyway, I got a lot of ideas for you. The first one sounds simple, but is really important, and it's something that I really want to stress upon. Draw stuff you like. You may be thinking, hey, that's not a very helpful idea. But listen to me. When you're starting out as an illustrator, if you're like me or other people that I know, you get this mindset where you're trying to make things that you think are going to get you hired. And that's not what you want to do. You want to make the stuff that you're interested in, the stuff that you want to do, because that's what is unique about you and the reason why someone might want to work with you. It's also a great way for your work to get in front of other people who wouldn't normally see it. An example of this would be, I made a drawing of every bike that I've ever owned, because I like bikes, and those drawings started getting seen by people who were also into bikes, and that led to people within the bicycling industry, which led to a bunch of work with bike companies, and that was pretty rad. I guess my point is, if you're an illustrator and you're just making illustrations that you think an art director or someone is gonna hire you for, you're competing with a whole bunch of people. But if you sort of draw what's unique to you and what is, what you really care about, you're gonna have more fun doing it, you're gonna make better work, and it's going to be seen by people who are going to find your work, not just because they're looking for an illustrator to find, and that's going to resonate more deeply and form a bigger connection with them in their mind when they think about you. This kind of thing happened again for me recently from some drawings I did a while back. I've always been into cars, into weird, kind of quirky, small cars. I do a little bit of racing, autocross, and track days and stuff like that. And I did a series of drawings of just all these older, cool, quirky cars that I liked. And they were seen by an art director at Hot Wheels who, was really into those drawings and were like, hey, these are super cool. Maybe we can do something together in the future. And I was like, oh, that'd be rad. So a couple of years later, he reached out to me and said, hey, I finally have a project that I think you would be perfect for. We've got this set of limited edition Hot Wheels. They have exaggerated features. They're kind of cartooned. You want to do the packaging for these? And I was like, yes, I definitely do. And now this Hot Wheels set is out in the world and you can find it in stores. Definitely a dream project for me, for sure. And it's not something that came about from me just being like, what can I draw that someone's going to hire me for? This was like, I'm just going to draw stuff that I'm into, stuff that I like, and put it out there. What about silly puns? Love silly puns. Let me see. Let me find some puns for you. What we got here is Rizza Jizza Pizza of the Wu-Tang Clan. This little guy here is Kawhi Fieri. Get it? Silly puns. Can't go wrong. I love doing a good mashup. I did a mashup of Wolverine as a Ren and Stimpy character. I should do more of the X-Men like that. But you know what? I made a video about it and nobody liked it. Nobody watched that video. Go watch that video for me. Oh, this is a fun one. doodle an album. It's as simple as that. What you do is you sit down, put on some music, and you just draw whatever it makes you think of. Maybe it's from the songs, maybe it's the mood, the feeling. You just draw the whole album. And then when you're done, you look at what you have and maybe you can turn it into something else. Maybe there's something fun in there that you could expand upon or recreate it. Generally, if I just scribble a whole bunch of stuff, there's usually something that I can pinpoint or just tighten it up. And then it's like, oh, this is cool. And it's also a good excuse to listen to music. Sometimes it's hard to make time for that kind of thing. Weird phrases, you could letter it, or you could illustrate the actual meaning of that phrase. Endless possibilities. By actual, I mean like the literal meaning of it, because, maybe it's like a weird saying that, like kill two birds with one. Don't draw that. Don't you kill birds. Alphabet challenge. Alphabet challenges are great. You know why? Because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. That's 26 days of drawings. You're welcome. But I recently did a monster for every letter of the alphabet. Made a video about it too. I'll link it somewhere. You can check that out. Another thing that I've done is I just start filling a page with all kinds of things that start with each letter. I was gonna do a children's book with this at one point, but the problem is I would start at the beginning, and as I got towards the end, I would look back at the early ones and be like, hey, these look bad now. So I would go back and want to redo them, and it was a vicious cycle. Never happened. I think the only way that would ever happen is if I was forced to do it. Draw on photos. This is a really fun one. You could just draw a mustache on someone, but you could do all kinds of things. You could draw a monster into a scene, or I don't know, draw a tiny world in a garden. You can make a horse into a unicorn. Did you ever think about that? Draw on some blobs. So what you do here is you just make a blob, scribble a weird shape, or you can find some blobs. There's blob challenges online. I've done one of those. Maybe I'll remember to link my blobs below and you could use those for your drawings. Anyway, you just turn those blobs into a drawing. Make them into something else. Another thing you can do like this is to do a scribble drawing where you just quickly scribble on the page and then look at that scribble and see if you can turn it into something, or maybe some of the overlapping shapes make something new. Done a lot of these in the past. Another thing you could do with this is use the silhouette of other objects to make something new from them. Like, for example, this plant or this water bottle. You take the silhouette of those things and then turn it into something else. The cup with the plant could be a crazy monster with some weird hair. What about thought-based drawings? You just draw how you're feeling. Just draw your thoughts. All right, let's talk about some bonus tips. Ready? There's tons and tons of Inktober challenges where there's daily drawing challenge lists that are created are in October. There's other ones throughout the year, but even if there's not one that's going on at the certain time you're using it, just look at these old prompt lists and use them to make new drawings. There's no rules. You don't have to just do it on that certain day back when it was made. Just take those prompts, make something new with them. You ever heard of those draw this in your style things? There's a lot of those online. I've done some of these before. I'm gonna link them below. You can use mine if you want. Basically, people draw something and they say, hey, draw this in your style. And you say, okay. Or you say, I don't wanna draw that. It's up to you. You choose. You choose your own drawing adventure. In addition to those, there's also the Your Art Here challenges. And I've done a bunch of these. I'm gonna link those for you below as well. Generally, someone will make something, split it in half, and then you do your version or whatever you want on the other side. Endless fun. It's a way to collaborate with other people. You do a collaboration with me by doing one on mine, right? We collaborate together. Could be collaborators. After you've done drawings for a while, a fun thing you can do is look back on old daily drawings and redo them. You'll be surprised how much better you've gotten, and you'll be able to make something new. I revisit old daily drawings all the time when I don't have any ideas, or if I'm looking for some specific thing, and then I see things like, oh, that was a fun idea, but this drawing is trash. I'll make a new, better version of it. As I mentioned earlier, daily drawing projects get easier with time. I wouldn't be where I am today without my daily drawing project, and I'm not saying you should do a daily drawing project, but it's kind of a cheat code, if I'm being honest. If you do want to know about my full daily drawing journey and how it shaped my career, you can check out this other video. It goes through the whole thing. And remember, I got links below with some of the stuff I mentioned, like some blobs, some draw this in your style, some your art here things. You could use those. Have fun with it. Do you like any of these ideas? Did they resonate with you? What are you gonna draw from this list? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear about your daily drawing project. And listen, you don't have to do a daily drawing project to just make some more art. Maybe you could just take one of these ideas and make a piece. Maybe you do a weekly personal piece. Maybe you do a monthly one. Maybe you do it bi-weekly. Is bi-weekly every other week or twice? Maybe you do it twice a week. All right. Good talk. Happy New Year. Unless you're not watching this at the New Year, then okay, bye.